Good evening, folks. It's your bro, Richie again. Today's video is now part 2 on NASCAR. That's right. Part 2 on NASCAR. 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 So, today in this video, I am now doing the next part, which is the sanctions series. So, I'm doing the next part, which is the sanctions series. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So Sanction Series is next, so let's do it. starting off with the first one is the National Series. So the first one of those is the Cup Series, which is the main article, NASCAR Cup Series, aka NCS, not to be confused with no copyright sounds, because that's with music, that's got nothing to do with it. So let's do it. So the NCS, which is short for the NASCAR Cup Series, it's the sports highest level of professional or pro competition. It's consequently the most popular and most profitable NASCAR. It's the most popular and most profitable NASCAR NASCAR series. Since 2001, the year the first Fast and Furious movie came out, the Cup Series season has consisted over 36 races. So over 36 races. So 36 races. So 36 races over 10 months. So less than a year by 2 months short. Both writers and fans often use Cup to refer to the NCS and the ambiguous use of NASCAR as a synonym. So NASCAR as a synonym, almost said cinnamon, as a synonym for the series is common. So common. The 2024 NCS champion is Joey Logano. The record for most championships is 7, held by 3 drivers: Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson has the record for most with 5 consecutive Cup Series drivers championships from 2006 to 2010. So that's for 4 years. So 4 years from like the mid 2000s up until the very start of the very early 2010s. Previously, the most consecutive championships had been 3 in a row by A.K.A. Yarborough in the late 70s. The only other time when a driver has won either 3 or more NASCAR. So the only other time when a driver has won 3 or more NASCAR Cup Series championships in a row. The Cup Series had its first title sponsor in 1972. The Cup Series had its first title sponsor in 1972. R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, which had been banned from TV advertising, found both a popular and demographically suitable consumer base in NASCAR fans and engaged NASCAR as a promotional outlet. As a result of that sponsorship, the Grand National Series became known as the Winston Cup. So Winston Cup Series. Starting in 1971, the year the Mach 1 Mustang came out in 1971, with a new points system and some significant cash benefits to compete for championship points. In 1972, the season was shortened from 48 races, including 2 on dirt tracks, to 31. So that's in total 17, including the 2. But if it was without the 2, it would just be 15. Anyways, so shortened from 48 races to 31. 1972 is often acknowledged as the beginning, so the start of NASCAR's modern era. The next competitive level, called LMS, Late Model Sportsman, gained the Grand National title, passed down from the top division, and soon found a sponsor in uh, Busch Beer. In 2004, Nextel Nextel Communications took over sponsorship of the Premier Series and formally renamed it the Nextel Cup Series. A new, where is it? Went a little bit overhead. What is it? So in 2004, Nextel Communications Communications took over sponsorship of the Premier Series and formally renamed it the Nextel Cup Series, a new championship points system that Chase for the Nextel Cup, renamed Chase for the Sprint Cup in 2008, was also developed. Which reset the point standings with 10 races to go, making only drivers in the top 10. Making only drivers in the top 10 or within 400 points of the leader eligible to win the championship. In 2007, NASCAR announced it was expanding the chase from 10 to 11 drivers. Not 11, from 10 to 12 drivers, so an extra 2 drivers more, eliminating the 400-point cutoff and giving a 10-point bonus to the top 12 drivers for each of the races they've won out of the first 26. Wins throughout the season would also be awarded 5 more points than in previous seasons. In 2008, the Premier the the Premier Series title name became the Sprint Cup Series as part of the merger between both Nextel and Sprint. In 2011, the year Fast 5, Real Steel, Born to Race, Transformers Dark of the Moon, and so many other films and all that kind of stuff when they came out. So in 2011, NASCAR announced a number of major rule changes, the most significant being abandoning the point system. The winner of a race now receives 43 points, with 1 point decrements for each subsequent position. 42 for second, 41 for third, and so on. The winner also receives 3 bonus points, and single bonus points are awarded to all drivers who lead a lap. It's awarded to all drivers who lead a lap, plus the driver who leads the most laps. Another significant change involves the qualifying process for the chase. The number of qualifying drivers would remain at 12, but only the top 10 will qualify solely on regular season points. The remaining two chase drivers will be the two drivers in the next 10 of the point standings, 11th through 20th, with the most race wins in the regular season. In 2014, NASCAR, so less than 10 years ago, in 2014, NASCAR announced another revamp to the chase format, expanding the chase pool to 16 drivers and eliminating four drivers. Say four drivers after every three races, leaving four drivers to compete for the championship at the season finale. Excuse me. At the season finale at Homestead. Ugh. At Homestead Miami Speedway. And Homestead in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Did I say somewhere in Miami, I think? I don't know. Oh, well, anyways, in 2014, in 2014, NASCAR announced another revamp to the chase formats. So, in 2014, NASCAR announced another revamp to the chase format, expanding the chase pool to 16 drivers and eliminating four drivers after every three races, leaving four drivers to compete for the championship at the season finale at Homestead in Miami, Florida. Which I might head to Miami, Florida one day. I don't know, but not at the moment though. Just not now, but whenever I feel like it. Just at the moment, not really now. In addition, wins were given an increased emphasis, with the 16 drivers with the most wins, 15 if the points leader is winless. Like if they can't win or something, I don't know. Points leader will receive an automatic burst. It's BERTH, gaining a spot in the chase. If there are fewer than 16 winners, the remaining spots will be filled based on the conventional points system. Monster Energy became the title sponsor in 2017, which changed the series' name to Monster Energy NASCAR Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. With Monster Energy's title sponsorship, NASCAR also abandoned the chase name and now refers to the last 10 races simply as the playoffs, similar to most other sports like soccer, football, hockey, all that kind of stuff. After the 2019 season, excuse me. After the 2019 season, NASCAR declined an offer from Monster Energy to remain the title sponsor of the top series. On December 5th, 2019, NASCAR, so 9 days before my 14th birthday, NASCAR revealed their new sponsorship model. Instead of a singular title sponsor, singular title sponsor for premium partners like Coca-Cola, Xfinity, Busch Beer, and Geico, GEICO would be closely affiliated with the top series, which was simply renamed the NASCAR Cup Series. Next up we got is the Xfinity Series. Main article is known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is the second highest level of pro competition in NASCAR. The most recent series champion is Justin Allgaier. I can't really pronounce his name. In 2024, last year, the modern incarnation of this series began in the modern incarnation of this series began in 1982 with sponsorship by Anheuser-Busch Brewing's Budweiser brand. In 1984, it was renamed to the Busch Grand National Series, then later just the Busch Series. The Anheuser-Busch sponsorship expired at the end of 2007, being replaced by na- being replaced by Nationwide Insurance, being replaced by Nationwide Insurance, say Nationwide Insurance, from 2008 to 2014. So from 2008 to 2014, and the series is now sponsored by Comcast, through its Xfinity brand. The season usually has fewer races than the Cup Series, and the prize money significantly lower. Over the last several years, a number of Cup Series drivers have run both the Xfinity and Cup Series events each weekend, using the Xfinity race as a warm-up to the Cup event at the same facility. Several drivers not only participated in both the Cup and Busch slash Nationwide slash Xfinity. So not only participated in both the Cup and Busch slash Nationwide slash Xfinity events on the same weekend, but also began to compete in both series on a full-time basis. Kevin Harvick was the first Cup Series driver to compete full-time in the Busch Series and win a title, actually doing so twice. In 2001, he did this for the Richard Childress Racing, but only did so out of necessity on Dale Earnhardt's death. So his passing or demise forced him into the Cup Series ahead of RCR's intended schedule for him. His win in 2006, where he raced 3 cars for RCR and his race team, was the first of 5 consecutive titles in NBS/NNS that were won by Cup Series regulars. The practice received criticism because it was thought to give the Cup Series teams an unfair advantage, and that the presence of the Cup Series drivers squeezes out Nationwide Series' competitors. So Nationwide Series competitors, almost a competition. But it's competitors who would otherwise be able to qualify. These dual series drivers have been labeled bushwhackers, a play on words which combines the original series sponsor's name with the notion of being bushwhacked. In May 2007, NNS director Joe Balash confirmed that NASCAR was exploring options to deal with the bushwhacker controversy. One of the most often cited proposals was for Cup Series drivers participating in a nationwide series to receive no points for their participation in a nationwide race. In 2007, NASCAR chairman Brian France indicated that all options, except an outright ban of Cup competitors, were still being considered. On January 11th, 2011, NASCAR.com, like the website, reported that the intro with the 2011 series, drivers would be allowed to compete. Drivers would be allowed to compete for the championship if only one of NASCAR's 3 national series in a given season, although they could continue to run in multiple series. This change was officially confirmed by France in a press conference less than 2 weeks later, and has renamed not renamed, remained in the NASCAR rules ever since. Starting in 2010, the nationwide cars adapted somewhat to the current Car of Tomorrow, or COT, like COT, design used by Cup cars, with different bodies from the Cup series. In 2016, the chase format was extended to both the Xfinity and Truck series. Instead of the 4 round 10 race format used in the Cup series, the chase in each of the two supporting series consists of 3 rounds and 7 races in all, with each preliminary round consisting of 3 races. The Xfinity Series chase involves 12 drivers instead of the 16. It involves 12 drivers instead of the 16 participating in the Cup Series chase. Four drivers are eliminated at the end of each preliminary round of the chase in the Xfinity Series, which also mirrors the Cup Series chase. This means that 4 drivers are eligible for the series title entering the final race, as in the Cup Series. Similar to Cup, starting in 2017, the Chase moniker or nickname was dropped. It's another name. It's another word, like another way of saying nickname. So the Chase nickname was dropped, and the final 7 races are now referred to as the Xfinity Playoffs. Even with restrictions limiting points earnings to one national series, Cup drivers were still running and winning a vast majority of Xfinity Series races through 2015. Starting with the 2015 season finale, NASCAR began to add additional restrictions in regards to Cup drivers running Xfinity races. Starting in the 2020 season, Cup drivers with more than 3 years of experience in the top series were limited to 5 races per season. Furthermore, those same drivers are ineligible, so not eligible to run the regular season finale. NXS playoff races or Dash for Cash races. Then we got Craftsman Truck Series. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series features modified pickup trucks. It's one of the 3 national divisions of NASCAR, together with the Xfinity and Cup Series. The most recent series champion is can't see from this distance. is Ty Majeski in 2024. Born August 18th, 1994, from Seymour in Wisconsin. So the most recent series champion is Ty Majeski in 2024. In 1994, NASCAR announced the formation of the NASCAR Super Truck Series, presented by Craftsman. The first series race followed in 1995. In 1996, the series was renamed the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series to emphasize Craftsman's involvement. The series was first considered something of an oddity or a senior tour for NASCAR drivers, but eventually grew in popularity and has seen drivers move straight to the Cup Series without running a full season in NASCAR Xfinity Series competition. These include Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards, who both ran for Roush Racing. Not sure what that is, but I might do some info about that. So, who both ran for Roush Racing. In addition, veteran drivers who have had only moderate success at the other 2 levels of the sport have revitalized their careers in the Truck Series, including Ron Hamaday Jr., Todd Bodine, Mike Skinner, he was in the Grand Tour, known as the American, for only 1 season. He didn't return for the second season because he didn't like going to the UK, and everybody hated him. And they went for Abbey in the Grand Tour for 2 seasons, season 2 and 3. Not sure like about the fourth season of Grand Tour. I'm not too sure. But it was with Clarkson, Hammond, and May. So, in addition, veteran drivers who have had only moderate success at the other two levels of the sport have revitalized their careers in the truck series, including Ron Homaday Jr., Todd Bodine, Mark Skinner, not Mark, Mike Skinner, and Johnny Benson. So, Mike Skinner and Johnny Benson. Starting in 2009, the series became the Camping World Truck Series. In 2019, 10 years later, after that, per branding request made by Camping World, the series was rebranded as the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. As noted previously, the chase format was extended to the Truck Series in 2016. The format's identical to that used in the Xfinity Series, except that only 8 drivers qualify for the chase instead of 12 in the Xfinity Series, and only 2 drivers are eliminated at the end of each preliminary round instead of 4 in the Xfinity Series. As in both the Cup Series and Xfinity Series, 4 drivers are eligible for the series title entering the final race. Similar to Cup, starting in 2017, the Chase nickname was dropped and is now simply referred to as the Truck Series Playoffs. On May 8th, 2018, both NASCAR and Camping World announced the Truck Series title sponsor would be moved to Camping World subsidiary Gander Outdoors starting in 2019. The contract through 2022 is scheduled to continue as planned. The series was renamed again in 2020 to the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series before returning to the Camping World Truck Series named in 2021. On August 26th, 2022, it was announced that the original series' sponsor, Craftsman, would return as the title sponsor starting in the 2023 season. Next up we got is the ARCA Menards Series. The ARCA Menards Series is a racing series that races at big touring series tracks and local racing series tracks. It's primarily it's primarily a Midwestern U.S. series. NASCAR acquired the series on April 27th, 2018, after being privately owned for 60 years. So that was in like 1958 or something? I can't really remember. I don't know. So yeah. So so NASCAR acquired the series on April 27th, 2018 after being privately owned for 60 years. Next up is the International Series, starting off with the Canada Series. The NASCAR Canada Series is a NASCAR racing series. So, the NASCAR Canada Series is a NASCAR racing series in Canada that derives from the old CASCAR Super Series found in 1981 and brought out by NASCAR in 2016. The new series has races through 6 of Canada's provinces for a total of 13 events with TV coverage on TSN. Many drivers are content running in Canada while others move up to bigger NASCAR series, including J.R. Fitzpatrick and D.J. Kennington. The cars are a bit different from the cars seen in America, being more akin to the late model, though steel tube framed silhouette bodies powered by V8 engines is still the norm. So it's powered by V8s is still the norm. Excuse me. Alright, next up is the Mexico Series. So CASCAR simply stands for Canadian Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. So it's similar to NASCAR, but it's just Canadian. I might do CASCAR one day. So CASCAR, Canadian Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. Headquarters is in Delaware and Ontario, Canada. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so Canada Series, NASCAR Racing Series. series probably is still a norm. Just checking where I left off here. Alright, I'm on the right track. So next up is the Mexico series. Not much on it, but let's do it. In December 2006, NASCAR also announced the creation of a new series in Mexico, the NASCAR Corona Series, now Mexico Series, replacing the existing, what was this say right there? Desafío Corona Series to begin in 2007. In 2004, NASCAR also began to sanction a mini stock racing series in Mexico, known as the Mexico T4 Series. Next up is the Euro Series. In early 2012, NASCAR announced that it would sanction the existing Euro-based race car Euro Series as a NASCAR touring series on July 1st, so very early July 2013, so like mid 2013, somewhere around there, but early July 2013, with partnership from NASCAR Welland Engineering. So NASCAR Welland Engineering. The series was renamed the NASCAR Welland Euro Series. Next up is the Brazil Series. Launched in 2012 as the Sprint Race Series. In 2023, the series received NASCAR sanctioning and technical assistance, becoming the newest of the NASCAR International Series. Next is the Regional Racing Series. In addition to the 6 main national series, NASCAR operates several other racing divisions under the NASCAR Regional banner. They've got weekly series. Many local racetracks across the US and Canada run under the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series banner, where local drivers are compared against each other in a formula where the best local track champion of the nation wins the Welland All-American Weekly Series National Championship. The Welland All-American Series is split into 4 car divisions as well as states and track championships separately. Each division champion receives a points fund money payout or cash payout, and even more goes to the national champion, driver with most points out of the 4 division winners. The Welland All-American Series. The Welland All-American Series is the base for stock car racing, developing NASCAR names such as Clint Bowyer, Jimmy Spencer, Tony Stewart, the Bodine brothers, and many others along the way. Then we got Welland Modified Tour. The Welland Modified Tour races open wheel modified cars in northern and southern divisions. So in both northern and southern divisions, this is NASCAR's oldest division, and the modern division has been operating since 1985 as the Winston Modified Series, and later in 1994 as the Featherly Trailers Modified Series. Next up is the ARCA Menards Series East and West. The ARCA Menards series is feeder divisions. So feeder divisions, which consists of both East and West. So Eastern and Western divisions race pro stock cars that are similar to older Xfinity Series cars. Although they're less powerful, the East Division was originally divided into the Busch North Series, which raced in northeastern states, and the Busch East Series, which raced throughout southeastern and both southwestern and mid-Atlantic states. The East Division was originally divided into the Busch North Series, which raced in northeastern states, and the Busch East Series, which raced throughout southeastern and mid-Atlantic states. The West Division was originally known as the Winston West Series and raced throughout both southwestern and coastal Pacific states. In 2008, the series came together in both East and West divisions under sponsorship So in 2008, the series came together in East and West divisions under sponsorship from Camping World as the Camping World Series. Performance sponsor K&N Filters took over the sponsorship in 2010. 2019 was the last season for both of the series before they are to go under the ARCA banner in 2020. So before they are to go under the ARCA banner in 2020 as part of the unification of the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East and West and the ARCA Menards Series. The series became known as the ARCA Menards Series East and ARCA Menards Series West, starting in 2020, meaning 2019 was also K&N's last year as the series title sponsor. Next up we got is AutoZone Elite and some other divisions. In the past, NASCAR also sanctioned the AutoZone Elite division, which raced late model cars that were both lighter and less powerful than Cup Series cars, and was originally split into four divisions: Northwest, Southwest, Southeast, and Midwest. Say Northwest, Southwest, Southeast, and Midwest. At the end of 2005, the year I was born, so at the end of 2005, NASCAR announced that the AutoZone Elites division would be discontinued after the 2006 season due to having trouble securing NASCAR sanctioned tracks to successfully host AutoZone Elites division events, plus escalating costs of both competing and downsizing of the division in recent years. In 2003, NASCAR standardized rules for its AutoZone Elites and so NASCAR standardized rules for its AutoZone Elite and Grand National divisions. Um, Regional touring series as to permit cars in one series to race against cars in another series in the same division. The top 15 Grand National or 10 AutoZone Elite in each series will race in a one race playoff called the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown to determine the annual AutoZone Elite and Grand National champions. This event has been hosted at Irwindale Speedway in Irwindale, California since its inception. Many drivers move up through the series before reaching the Cup Series. In 2002, only 9,000 drivers had licenses from NASCAR to race at all levels. The winners of the All-American Series National Championship, the ARCA Menards Series, ARCA East, and ARCA West championships, the Welland Modified and Grand National divisions, and the three national series are invited to Las Vegas in Nevada in December to participate in Champions Week ceremonies. So Irwindale Speedway is known as also Irwindale Event Center, was located in Irwindale in San Gabriel Valley, which is part of the Los Angeles County, in in Irwindale in the Los Angeles County, California, or LA County, California. So the winners of the All-American Series National Championship, the ARCA Menards Series, ARCA East and ARCA West championships, the Welland Modified and Grand National divisions, and the three national series are invited to Las Vegas in December to participate in Champions Week ceremonies. Next up is online racing series, starting off with NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. Yep, I don't know what is going on with this, but let's find out. So NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. It's like I for everything, like eye infection, iPhone, iPod, iPad. If they have iCar, if Apple made a car made their own car, that'd be kind of interesting. Or iLid or iMac or MacBook, whatever we would call it. Anyways, we got online racing series starting off with NASCAR Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola iRacing series. In 2010, NASCAR officially sanctioned its first sim its first sim racing export series, partnering with iRacing to form the NASCAR iRacing.com series. This sim racing series is made of up of five amateur series divisions: the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series and the Peak Antifreeze NASCAR iRacing Series, or NPAIS, of the iRacing's World Championship Series. Each year, the champion of the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series is invited to NASCAR's championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway in somewhere near like Miami, Florida, to receive $10,500 in prize money and and a NASCAR championship trophy at the track. And iRacing is a subscription-based online sim racing video game developed and published by iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations in 2008, and so all in-game seasons are hosted on the publisher's servers. The game simulates real-world cars, tracks, and racing events, and enforces rules of conduct modeled on real auto racing events. So anyway, each year, the champion of the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series is invited to NASCAR's championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Say Homestead Miami Speedway, um, in Homestead, Florida. Say in the city of Homestead, within Miami-Dade County in Florida. So each year the champion of the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series is invited to NASCAR's uh, champion to NASCAR's championship week. So each year, the champion of the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series is invited to NASCAR's. So each year, the champion of the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series is invited to NASCAR's championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway to receive $10,500 prize money and NASCAR championship trophy at the track. In 2018, iRacing announced iRacing announced a new sanctioned qualifying ladder system. A ladder system for the NPAIS, the Road to Pro Series, using virtual Chevy and Toyota Camping World trucks. At the same time, the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series would switch to using the Xfinity Series Camaro, so Camaro Mustang and Camry. So Camaro Mustang and Camry models to replicate the progression to the real-life Cup Series cars used in the NPAIS. Not sure why Toyota is part of the NASCAR series, because Toyota, first of all, is Japanese, not American. I don't know why, but they have done this before for for many years. Anyways, in 2020, Coca-Cola became the enti- in 2020, Coca-Cola became the entitlement sponsor of the series, and it was renamed the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. With the prize pool increased to $300,000, so 300 grand. Additionally, 6 races will be televised on NBCSN. Not sure what NBCSN stands for. What does it stand for? It's known as NBC Sports Network, but I'm not sure what NBC stands for. I don't know. Anyways, not gonna go through that. So yeah, additionally, 6 races will be televised on NBCSN. Last one is the NASCAR Ignite series, and then move on to the next part. Uh, so, so NASCAR Ignite series. Um, the series was created as a developmental league by NASCAR, so both NASCAR and iRacing, for aspiring gamers aged between 13 to 16 years old. The simulator begins with US Legends cars before moving to modified tour cars. Alright, next up is the driver safety. NASCAR has often implemented safety measures um, reactively in purpose, not purpose, sorry, in response to either injuries or fatalities, fire retardant or like fire resistant. There is some autocorrection going on. I apologize. There's autocorrection. Fire resistant driver suits were required after the death of Fireball Roberts, who passed away from complications of burns and suffered in a crash when flames engulfed his car during a Charlotte race. May rest in peace. So born January 20th, 1929. Excuse me. In Tavares in Florida, passed away at age 35 on July 2nd, 1964, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Cause of death was complications due to racing crash on May 24th, 1964, during the 1964 World 600 race. Man, may rest in peace, pal. You may be gone, but you're never forgotten. Sorry, still on driver safety. NASCAR has often implemented safety measures reactively in purpose, not purpose, in response. Why do I keep saying purpose? Sorry. God. In response to either injuries or fatalities. Fire resistant driver suits were required after the death of Fireball Roberts, who passed away who died from complications of burns suffered in a crash when flames engulfed his car during a Charlotte race. After the deaths of Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin, and Adam Petty, Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin, and Tony Roper in 2000, and Dale Earnhardt in 2001. NASCAR revisited the idea of decreasing. So NASCAR revisited. So NASCAR revisited the idea of decreasing the G forces a driver sustained during a crash. The kill switch throttle was mandated after the death of Adam Petty, along with the requirements of an anti-spill bladder in fuel cells. The impact absorbing safer barrier, as they call it, had been in use as early as 1998, but NASCAR hesitated to install those walls out of concern that they may bring about unintended consequences of aggravating the crashes, and possibly because of the effort needed to clean up the debris from the damaged walls. For those who don't know what the safer barrier is, it's known as the steel and foam energy reduction barrier, sometimes generally referred to as a soft wall, which is a technology found on oval automobile racetracks and high-speed sections of both road and street tracks, intended to both absorb and reduce kinetic energy due to impact of a high-speed crash, and thus lessen injuries sustained to both drivers and spectators. It was designed by a team of engineers at the Midwest Roadside Safety Facility at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. It was developed from 1998 to 2002, so for 4 years, and first installed at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in May 2002. So the impact absorbing uh, safer barrier had been in use as early as 1998, but NASCAR hesitated to install those walls out of concerns that they may bring about unintended consequences of aggravating the crashes, um, and possibly because of the efforts needed to clean up the debris from the damaged walls. Dale Earnhardt's fate Dale Earnhardt fatally suffered a fracture to the base of his skull after his car slammed into the concrete wall in the 2001 Daytona 500. His passing prompted NASCAR to implement the safer barrier and consider drastic improvements to the safety of the drivers. One of these would require all drivers to use the Hans device, so the head and neck support. It's both the head and neck support device, a device that keeps the driver's neck from going forward into a wreck. Am I making this rhythm sound dangerous enough? So just stops your head just going forward if you have a head-on impact or collision. Doesn't matter what difference it is. So a device that keeps the driver's neck from going forward into a wreck. It's like to stop your neck just going just lunging forward and just braking. So a device that keeps the driver's neck from going forward into a wreck. The mandate came about in October after Blaze Alexander, racing for the ARCA series, passed away in a crash that resulted in the same injuries sustained as Dale Earnhardt. NASCAR redesigned the racing vehicle with safety improvements, calling in the Car of Tomorrow, which debuted in 2007. The car had a higher roof, wider interior, and the driver's seat was located more toward the center of the vehicle. The passing of Dale Earnhardt has been seen as a wake up call for NASCAR. NASCAR has been far more aggressive with safety changes since Earnhardt's passing or demise. And as of 2024, last year, no NASCAR driver has been involved in a fatal accident since. Not sure what that's going to be like this year, 2025, but possibly the same or might be like some different improvements or changes. I don't know, but we'll find out. Next part. I don't want to be the breaker of bad news, but we got, unfortunately, criticism. Something I did not want to do, but, well. Excuse me. Next up is criticism. So NASCAR has been a target of criticism on various topics for various sources. Some critics note the significant differences between today's NASCAR vehicles and true stock cars. Others frequently cite the dominance of the France family in NASCAR's business structure, uh, policies, and decision making. Recently, the increased number of Cup drivers competing consistently in the Xfinity Series races has been haltily has been. Oh God, what does it say? Hang on. Has been hotly. There we go. Hotly debated. Debated. Another general area of criticism, not only of NASCAR but other motorsports as well, including questions about fuel consumption, and so fuel consumption, emissions, and pollution, and the use of or lead additives in the gasoline. Originally scheduled for 2008, NASCAR adopted the use of unleaded fuel in all three of its top series in 2007. In 2011, NASCAR switched to E15 green fuel, So E15 green fuel, as they call it, says 15% ethanol and 15% ethanol and 85% gasoline for all three touring season for all three touring series. As NASCAR had made moves to improve its national appeal, it started racing at new tracks and ceased racing at some traditional ones, a sore spot for the traditional fan base. Most recently, NASCAR has been changed on the types and frequently of caution flags, with some critics suggesting the outcome of races is being manipulated and that the intention is not safety, as NASCAR claims, but closer racing. There have been a few accidents involving fans during races and even some of the tracks, but no spectator has ever been killed during a race in an accident relating to the race. Although a fan was killed by a lightning strike in 2012 after the 2012 Pennsylvania 400 at uh, Belcano was called short due to the storm. So it was called short due to the storm. It was revealed in 2008 that a wrongful death lawsuit against NASCAR stemming from the crash of a company plane was settled for $2.4 million. So $2,400,000. It's a lot of money. For years, NASCAR has been under criticism for allowing the Confederate flag to be flown during races. I don't know if it's a problem or something. I got no clue. So, for years, NASCAR had been under criticism for allowing the Confederate flag to be. So, for years, NASCAR had been under criticism for allowing the Confederate flag to be flown during races. Former chairman Brian France tried to ban the flying of Confederate flags at racetracks in 2015, which caused anger among fans. It previously asked fans to voluntarily stop flying the flag after the 2015 Charleston church shooting, but this did not end the practice. Bubba Wallace, the only African American NASCAR Top Circuit driver, drove the 2020 Spring Martinsville race in a car with Black Lives Matter livery. So Black Lives Matter livery, and appeared in an anti-racism video with a number of white drivers. On June 10th, June 10th, 2020, in the wake of protests related to the murder of George Floyd, NASCAR announced that the display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all of both of its events and properties as well. In February 2022, the U.S. 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in a lawsuit against BitConnect. Usually, I've heard of Bitcoin, but BitConnect never have. That the Securities Act of 1933 extends to targeted uh, solicitation using social media. In April 2022, a class action lawsuit was filed in Florida against. So, in April 2022, a class action lawsuit was filed in Florida against the LGB Coin uh, cryptocurrency company NASCAR. So, NASCAR stock car racing driver Brandon Brown and political commentator Candace Owens alleging that the defendants made either false or misleading statements about the LGB coin, and that the founders of the company had engaged in a pump and dump scheme. Kind of odd saying that, but I don't know. I ain't got a clue in the world. Like, I don't know. I do not know at all. Okay, where in the world was I? So in February 2022, the U.S. 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in a lawsuit against not Bitcoin. Why do I keep calling Bitcoin always? I don't know why. BitConnect, there we go. BitConnect, I kind of remember this. That the Securities Act of 1933 extends to targeted solicitation using social media in so targeted solicitation using social media in April 2022. A class action lawsuit was filed in Florida against the LGB coin cryptocurrency company NASCAR stock car racing driver Brandon Brown and political commentator Candace Owens, alleging that defendants made either false or misleading statements about the LGB coin and that the founders of the company had engaged in a pump and dump scheme. Kind of weird when I say that, but oh well. Alright, next up we got is global expansion. Ugh, I'm just, well. In 2006, Toyota announced they would be joining NASCAR's ranks. Toyota Toyota generated early success, winning several races of performances from where is it? Denny was can't really see that well. Denny Hamlin, yeah, Denny Hamlin. So both Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Any increase in foreign competition is expected to raise the price of putting a car on the track. Another topic of the NASCAR circuit is the increase in foreign-born drivers and the effects they may have on the future of NASCAR. Juan Pablo Montoya, Patrick Carpenter, Dario Franchitti, Kimi Raikkonen, and Jenson Button are among the foreign-born big names who have crossed over from F1 and the IndyCar circuit. These drivers had made an impact on NASCAR. Not only by both winning races and dominating road courses, but by expanding NASCAR's POV, so point of view. NASCAR included a race at the Mexican road course Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in an Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in the nationwide series scheduled from 2005 through 2008, as well as a race in Montreal in Canada at Circuits Gilles Villeneuve from 2007 through 2012 with the Camping World Truck Series, adding a date at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, in 2023. Not 2020, sorry, at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in 2013. Sorry about that. Located north of I can't see it that well. North of Bowmanville in Ontario in Canada. I might also talk about Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I'm not too sure, but I'll find out. 47 miles east of Toronto in Canada. Anyways, yeah, NASCAR included a race at the Mexican road course, Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in the nationwide series scheduled from 2005 through 2008, as well as a race in Montreal, Canada. At Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So Villeneuve from 2007 through 2012 with the Camping World Truck Series, adding a date at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in 2013. There has been talk of possible expansion with exhibition races in Japan and a return to Canada. Expanding Expanding into international markets could increase NASCAR's popularity and allowing both foreign sponsors and manufacturers to get involved in the sport. Some think this could be a very positive move for NASCAR. So some think some think this could be a very positive move for NASCAR, which has seen its TV ratings dropped 21% between 2005 and 2007. Dropped 21% in those 2 years. During the same 2 year period, NASCAR also saw the greatest drop in. So, during the same 2 year period, NASCAR also saw the greatest drop in tickets prices observed in over a decade. So, in over 10 years. In 2010, so the start of the early 2010s, the start of the very early 2010s, NASCAR saw TV ratings drop 10% from the year before, which was down 33% of its peak in 2005. Which was down 33% of its peak in 2005. Some think that an increase in international diversity would translate into both growth and generate greater opportunities for NASCAR fans. In 2023, so 2 years ago, to celebrate their 75th anniversary, NASCAR partnered with both Chevy and Hendrick Motorsports to enter a next gen Camaro ZL1 in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Say Le Mans in France. Say Le Mans. 24 hours of Le Mans. It coincided with the 100th anniversary of the prestigious endurance race at the Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans Sarthe in France, and the Camaro entered as a Garage 56 innovative entry. Both Jimmy Johnson and Jenson Button were joined by German WEC veteran and Mike Rockenfeller, a 2010 LMP1 category and overall winner at Le Mans as the drivers. Chad Knaus, or Knaus, spelled K-N-A, U.S. Johnson's crew chief. So crew chief during each of his Cup Series championships was project manager, while the car bore number 24 in honor of Jeff Gordon. All right. Okay, next up is NASCAR.com. All right. so NASCAR.com. In October 2000, what does it say? Well, I'll be back. Turner Sports. So in October 2000, Turner Sports acquired the digital rights to NASCAR. And subsequently took over its. So in October 2000, Turner Sports acquired the digital rights to NASCAR and subsequently took over its website which features news, info, and interactive features such as both Race View and Race Buddy surrounding its series. While NASCAR had extended Turner's Turner's contract to operate the site through 2016, the association announced in January 2012, so very early 2012, that it would take operation of the site back in-house in 2013. As a result, a new NASCAR.com was launched on January 3rd, 2013, so very early 2013. Well, the start of very early. So the very start of very early 2013, which features a multimedia orientated so which features a multimedia orientated design. Say multimedia orientated design enhanced to provide a higher level of fan interaction, and provide an improved second screen experience for viewers on mobile devices. On May 7th, 2019, NASCAR announced a sports betting content partnership. So on May 7th, 2019, NASCAR announced a sports betting content partner. On May 7th, 2019, NASCAR announced a sports betting content partnership with the Action Network to provide editorial content and analysis, both editorial content and analysis to NASCAR.com, including both recommended picks and value bets. NASCAR said the partnership was intended to prepare for the spread of legal sports betting in the U.S. following the 2018 U.S. Supreme Court ruling overturning the federal PASPA sports betting prohibition. NASCAR previously struck an exclusive deal with sports data solutions provider Genius Sports to develop an official NASCAR gaming offering for legal sports books. So PSPA stands for Professional and Amateur Sports. So Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act of 1992. So just pro and amateur. So yeah, just pro and amateur sports. So Pro and Amateur Sports Protection Act of 1982. So PASPA. So yeah, Pro and Amateur Sports Protection of 1982. Sports betting prohibition. NASCAR previously struck an exclusive deal with sports data solutions provider Genius Sports to develop an official NASCAR gaming offering for legal sports books. Next up, we got a subsidiaries, so both subsidiaries and sister organizations. So first one we got is NASCAR Digital Media. Oh, holy cow! There's a lot on this. All right, so I'm gonna save that for later. So for my next NASCAR video will be about both the subsidiaries and sister organizations. So starting off with the first one is NASCAR Digital Media. So I'll be back for that soon. So yeah, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you are alerted of when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so I gotta go. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe, have a great evening, and have a great day tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So, take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Good night.